Hey, what's up, guys? Malicious Jasper here. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. You might be able to hear it, but it's raining outside. But I'm not gonna. No, I'm gonna keep to my schedule, rain or no rain. So fuck the weather gods or weather god, whichever one you believe. And let's talk a bit about some stuff. So first things first, that is that I will only have this week left of my holidays, and then it is off to college, meaning a lot less time to make videos. So I'm probably cut back to my usual schedule of 3 videos a week. I'm gonna try to, make it a bit more, but I'll probably be quite busy doing other stuff. So I'm gonna try and upload regularly and maybe upload more let's plays, well, more than one let's play a week, but I'm not sure. It'll all depend on how much work I have to do, so and if I'm tired or not. So that's a thing. And yeah, let's go on to, there hasn't been actually that spectacular that happened. The only thing that I think is worth mentioning is the fact that Sony announced something for the PlayStation Vita, so you can stream it to your TV or something, and that you can later stream PlayStation 4 games to your PS Vita. I don't know what exactly it is, but if it works, it's kind of cool. It's about $100 if I can rely on the intel that I've read on the interwebs, and don't forget, the interwebs is always right. So yeah, that's a thing. What else? Grand Theft Auto will soon be released. If you're a fan of Grand Theft Auto and you're really excited for the next installment, Grand Theft Auto 4, and you love multiplayer games, well, then I'm gonna have to disappoint you a bit. Grand Theft Auto 5 multiplayer isn't gonna be accessible on release. That's what I've heard. From what I understand, the multiplayer section of the game will be accessible 2 weeks after the initial launch of the game. So plenty of time to play the single player part of the game, but if you're a real fan and you play a lot of the game, then I think it's gonna suck because you'll have to wait to enter the multiplayer section. So it's kind of a bummer. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to prevent people from just immediately going to the multiplayer and not even playing the single player game. So I understand why, but 2 weeks, kind of a long time, but understandable nonetheless. As far as news goes, I don't think there isn't anything really big going on. So yeah, there aren't any major games that are gonna be released that I know. Something else I want to talk about is the Nintendo 2DS. The news is probably a week or two old, but what the 2DS is actually a Nintendo 3DS. Looks a bit different. You can't, close it and open it. It will play DS games and 3DS games, but it will not have the 3D effect that the 3DS has, because the 3DS has sometimes, with some DS games, it has problems of running it, and then there are just people don't want the 3D effect or never put it on because they get a headache or it's gonna be bad for your eyes or whatever, and they want to sell something for the consumers that haven't bought a 3DS because they don't want to have the 3D effect. That's why it's also going to be a lot cheaper. It's going to be about $50 cheaper, I think. So it will retail at, I think, $130. So it's quite a bit cheaper than the 3DS. and it will be released on the same date as the new Pokemon game. So it's definitely a Pokemon selling machine. For those who do not have a 3DS yet, they made the 2DS so that those people can also buy the new Pokemon games X and Y, which I am, to be honest, looking forward to. So I'm trying to acquire a 3DS for my own, because I was thinking when I heard the news about the 2DS one, oh, that's actually quite handy because I don't care that much about the 3D effect, and I need a system to, play Pokemon on because I like Pokemon. I'm not ashamed to admit it, but Pokemon is awesome. Never got that big into competitive. I mean, I never actually got into competitive, but it's still an awesome game. But the 3DS has never been worth the purchase because, the games that you buy on a 3DS, I mean, most of them are Mario games or remakes of older Nintendo games. And while I would love to have them, it's just too expensive with PC to combine it with limited PC gaming, and then buying equipment for recording, etc., and new games for the Xbox 360. So that's why I have postponed buying a 3DS, because it was also quite expensive for what it actually was. And but there might be some good news on the horizon on that front, and that is that I found someone on the internet who sells a used Nintendo 3DS XL and 3 games, namely Zelda, I believe the Ocarina of Time, then Super Mario Brothers something, I don't know, some Super Mario Brothers game, and then Mario Kart 7. So 3 very high quality games and a 3DS XL, and that only for 85 euros. So that is fucking cheap. I mean, there are other people who sell 3DS, a 3DS that they've used for 100 euros, 120, maybe even more. But that guy, if he actually has a 3DS with those games and he sells it for 85, then I'm gonna be a happy guy. But I'm having my doubts. I mean, I contacted him by mail. I don't know. He hasn't replied yet, so we'll see. And if that's not the case, then I'll look forward. I'll search more for a, used 3DS. And if that is out of the question, then I'm gonna buy a 2DS and a Pokemon game. So let's hope for the best that I can get that 3DS, because actually I'm quite I always loved Nintendo games for some reason. When I was little, the first real console we got was an N64, and that was a brilliant console with brilliant games. And the 3DS, it has some issues with games. I mean, Nintendo nowadays has a lot of issues with which games are gonna retail. They don't have that many AAA titles, and so mostly it are Mario games, Zelda, Mario Kart. Those are the main franchises, and then games marketed towards younger children, the younger audience, Nintendogs and all that. And there is just too little for real hardcore gamers, in my opinion, to warrant buying a 3DS. And to be honest, the only reason why I would ever buy when I was little, then I bought, for instance, stuff like Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Color, then an Advanced with an SP. That was my childhood, and it was always awesome when you went somewhere on holiday, and you could not bring your actual Nintendo 64 with you. I mean, we couldn't do that. Our parents wouldn't want that, and from time to time where we were going, not always a TV and all that. It was always was gonna be quite a hassle. But then you had Nintendo, had a Game Boy and Game Boy Color and all that, and you could play in the car. That was actually one of the main reasons why we had that. The games were good, of course, but you could play when you were traveling. So if you're 16 hours in a car spread across 2 days, you know, you can only do so much in a car, right? You can read, you can play video games, you can sleep. That's about the most things you can do. I mean, you can take toys, but there isn't much room to play in. So yeah, it was great when we were bored on those long journeys, and especially games like Pokemon. I mean, it's 16 hours straight, and then you could start fresh and be halfway through the game when you arrived, and then when you were on vacation, when you were at your destination, there wasn't TV because we didn't speak the languages. Well, I didn't speak the language, and my parents, from time to time, did, depending on where we were going, of course. And we didn't understand that, so we could always play our Pokemon games on our and other games. Let me tell you, we did not only have Pokemon games. We could play that on the Game Boys when it was late at night, but we weren't tired yet, and it was fun. So you could easily go through one or two games in the holidays, and that's also one of the reasons you bought games, so you could, when you went on a holiday or any long drive, basically, when you're going somewhere that's 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away, an hour, even longer, then you could play them Game Boy. So that was awesome. But now, if I travel, then I don't usually play video games. I don't know why. That's something that I just don't do anymore. And from time to time, I usually take public transportation. But when I go with my parents nowadays, just look outside, look out the window, maybe sleep a bit. But I don't play games anymore. So that's also a reason why I was quite reluctant to buy that, because I have an Xbox, I have PC games that I can still play, all the PC games that I still love playing. Don't get me wrong. And then if I would buy a 3DS, then it would have been much. I mean, now I'm way behind on games that I should play, that I just don't have the time to play, because I want to play those games, but I also want to make videos and let's plays, and that's not easy, and it always takes time. You get technical difficulties and all that, and then you have to edit it and render it, and it's just time consuming. So I love doing that, by the way, don't get me wrong. I love editing, but it's just time consuming. Just so that everybody knows. Then it's just that I don't have so much time, and that's why I also postpone buying. I haven't bought any new games lately. It's been a while since I bought a new game, just because I know the game's probably gonna go into the shelf, and I'm not gonna play it for a long time. There are games that I've had for maybe a year by now that I haven't played yet. Hell, there are even games that I've had for a longer period of time than that, and I haven't played them yet, just because there are so many other games that I want to play. And it's just not other games you want to play, but it's also just multiplayer. Not every game has a multiplayer, not every game has a great multiplayer. From time to time I just want to go online and shoot some people in Black Ops. I mean, it's just that I don't want to play campaign in a game or something. I just want to play some online, and then it's rather difficult of balancing everything out. So that's why I was also quite reluctant to buy one. But I'm hoping that I can get it, because the amount of money that I'm gonna spend on that is nothing. If I can get it all for 85 euros, then I'm gonna be in heaven, because the value is, let me say, if you buy everything new, it could easily be between 250 and 300 euros. And I can get it for less than a third. So I'm hoping that that guy comes through, and then my problems will be gone. Not really, but hey. What else am I doing? Momentarily, I'm playing Dead Island. It's been quite fun actually. Um, it would actually, I thought when I read reviews about it, because my little brother bought it, and when I read the first reviews, people were saying that it wasn't such a great game. But so far, I've been enjoying it. It's definitely not the best game, but I like it. Many go kill this or go retrieve that quests, but that's basically any game you play nowadays, or any more or less open world RPG game. But it's pretty chill to play. And then from time to time I play Black Ops 2 multiplayer. I haven't gotten around to doing the achievement guide for the Origins DLC and all that, because it's just a pain in the ass. There are so many goddamn steps that you need to do, and it will take me forever to do everything. So, I'm gonna try and get some more achievements, and when I do, I'm gonna make some achievement guides. But until then, probably don't expect many more achievement guides. Maybe I've said it once before. I'm not against making an achievement guide. Actually, it's pretty fun to do. It's a lot less work. Well, actually, it's more work than Let's Plays, but it's just much more fun, and it takes almost no time to render. You can immediately upload it. It gets more views than my regular videos, so that's why I do love making those. But I don't do them of older games. So if I would buy a new game that has achievements, then definitely I'm gonna make a couple of achievement guides. But that is not gonna be something that's gonna happen anytime soon, because I don't have that much money, because I'm poor. Not everybody is born rich. But that was everything that I want to talk about this week. Yeah, there aren't any. Maybe you've noticed it that I've been playing Pokemon Showdown and Binding of Isaac, Guild Wars 2, SPVP, more computer-related stuff, because I'm waiting for my new laptop. Because my education requires me to buy a decent laptop, and I need one. So I'm gonna wait until I have that, and then I can probably record with the Elgato again, and then I can also record speech easier than before. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. I might record in my living room, or that's the alternative, record here, but I'm not sure if I have any sound. So I'm just gonna still have to figure that out. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna make it a short one, and I will see you guys with my next video. Peace out.